One speaker for the keynote speech topic of role of smart manufacturing platform. Please welcome E-Tree Vice President and General Director, Mr. 胡竹生，欢迎胡所长 Dr. Hu.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's been my honor to talk today about the smart manufacturing platform for Industry 4.0. I think that during the COVID-19, a lot of business were slowed down due to the isolation. However, I think the pace to boost our digital transformation in manufacturing and the machines should not be stopped. So both the industry, government, and research institution and academia in Taiwan still hold the fast pace in promoting our smart manufacturing platform to our industry. So today, my talk will be to describe again our policy for smart machinery, and next one I would like to talk about our newly launched program to establish a machine cloud in Taiwan, and we have some progress. So I will talk about some applications, and finally the conclusion. Okay, now current status. Enterprise of either Germany or Taiwan are mainly SMEs. As you can see that there are a lot of SMEs in Taiwan as well as in Germany. So the target for digital transformation are mainly on those SMEs, okay? And our smart machinery promotion program in Taiwan, the goal is to facilitate in the adoption of smart manufacturing in the manufacturing sector. Now, we already launched the program for several years. So we have a very clear picture of how to promote the digitization for our industry. Mainly for SMEs, they are beginning to do the digital transformation. In other words, their status should be from Industry 2.0 to 3.0. And during this segment, the main purpose is to do digitization. In other words, automation plus digitization. But for some industry who already have certain scale or already have some program within their factory, their status will be 3.0 to 4.0. And during this segment, the main purpose or the main effort is to how to utilize the data they collect. In other words, how to introduce what we said AI into their factory. Okay? Now, but any type of technical means or technical methods to promote the industry, we should have goals. Okay, what is our purpose of doing so? Okay, so this in this slide we list 8 objectives. For example, when we introduce the digitization, our first goal is to do process optimization. In other words, we optimize the efficiency of the process. And the second one is we want to have least machine downtime as possible. Okay. The third one is we want to increase our labor productivity. This is very important because of the aging society, so that our productivity should be increased. Quality management, inventory management, supply chain, supply demand forecast, time to market, especially supply-demand forecast is very important during the COVID-19 because of the lockdown. So every company, they are bookkeeping their manufacturing process because they don't want to waste additional time to produce products that cannot be shipped out. But in the meantime, if there is a fast demand or the demand, suddenly a surge of demand, their process should be open again to cope with the demand. For example, during this COVID-19, I think everyone knows that we fastly assemble a team thanks to Tommy and a lot of industry people. They assemble together to make the mask for us. So during 1 month, the team quickly supply all the demand in Taiwan. This is a typical example of the product development in manufacturing during the COVID-19. Okay. So across the industry, like in mechanical equipment, people who making equipment, or metal and critical vehicle industry, textile industry, and ICT industry, etc. For those A objective, they have different requirements. And the table shows that if it's a black dot, that means this is required. As you can see that, of course, all the industry, they require process optimization. And some others are needed, and some the hollow circle means that they already have some capability to fulfill the labor productivity or increase the labor productivity, but we need to have some also to have to inject some energy to the industrial sector to make it better. Okay, so the government already have some type of investigation and have some conclusions of how should we focus our development or focus our technology to different industry and what are their needs in terms of fulfilling the goals. So the strategy to establish the platform is we have the objectives, as I mentioned. Then second one is we need to have a direction to fulfill the objective. So in other words, and in this direction, we have to figure out what type of technology like 5G or AI that should be injected to the platform so that to establish the capability to fulfill the objective. So, these are 7 approaches that we take from the direction. So we need to establish the foundation for the technology, and we need to promote the service integration and the system integration, and we need to develop the applications on the cloud, and etc. Okay, so all these approaches supporting the directive and to achieve the objectives. This is the what is the approach we take from the strategy side. And in terms of roadmap, I think the most important one is to promote the idea of cloud computing or cloud storage, or even the future interconnect manufacturing idea in Taiwan. So to promote, we call it the machine cloud. This is actually promoted also by Tommy. Okay, should we have a machine cloud that can be adopted by many SMEs? Okay, I think very important point is that if for a small scale company, if they want to establish their own clouds, they will have to spend a lot of money, and the cost is high. So it will stop them from adopting the modern technology. So in other words, can we have an idea of creating clouds that can be shared by those SMEs to reduce their cost? Okay, so this is the roadmap we have from, I think we already begin, okay, but it will officially launch next year, okay? Then we first establish infrastructure, then we will gather people to write their APPs on the clouds, okay, and encourage people in the manufacturing sector to use those APPs. And I think in the long run, we will try to inject more AI technology into this platform, okay. So there are a lot of work like how do we unify the communication standards in the shop floor, and also how do we come up with some standard of software interface on the clouds, etc. Those efforts will be launched starting next year, okay. And this is a very familiar, I think the familiar figure for everyone that basically the cloud computing for manufacturing or the digital transformation can be separated into 3 layers. The first one is IaaS, means the hardware dependent one. The second one is the PaaS, we call platform as a service. The third one is the SaaS, the people writing the application software for the top upper layer. So PaaS is, like I say, is very important because it will connect the hardware to the software application. So starting next year, we will try to see if we can have a cloud that can be shared by many industries. Of course, the most important one for everyone to share is the security, okay? No one wants to leak their manufacturing know-how to the cloud. So this is a very important point that during our technical work to ensure the information security of those during the digital transformation. Okay, so this is a more detailed view of the clouds. Okay, so we have a platform operator currently, the E-Tree and Tommy and some other large industrial IT companies. We are talking together to see who will operate the clouds. Okay, and so we have a machine cloud, and we have people contribute the cloud like the APP developer and the machine makers and the system integrator. All these efforts will be directly to shop floor to have their efficiency enhanced by these efforts. Okay. Now, one of the very important effort in establishing the cloud is the industrial standard. Like I said, we have different type of standard on the floor. For example, machine communication. For example, if the machine is made or the integration automation is made by Siemens, then Siemens has their own standards. If the machine is from some other companies, they have different standards. So all those shop floor standards should have some certain type of bridge transformation, bridging or some transformation to the clouds. Okay, we are not trying to have a unified standard on the shop floor because this is not possible. But we should be open that the cloud can accept a lot of standards to extract the data onto the cloud. That's the main point. Okay. So another one is that when we establish the cloud, what is the ecosystem if the cloud is established? Ecosystem means who will supply the service, how much money will the user pay for the service, and how do we qualify the APP in order to guarantee that ensure the quality of the users so that the user can use them. Okay, so those are not easy tasks, but it has to be done. In other words, if we don't do this, individual companies, especially SMEs, they are very difficult to adapt the digital transformation. Okay, and of course, this is in the long run that we will establish the service model and testing with the big data for connectivity. Okay, so other than develop the cloud infrastructure, we also try to see if we can introduce the modern technology like 5G into the cloud system. And we are thinking how maybe later on we can discuss what would be the most valuable point of 5G into the digital transformation, especially in the manufacturing domain. Nowadays, people talk about 5G, but in order for 5G to really enter our factory, I think there's still some gap that we are currently working on finding out the value of the 5G communication. So it will involve some communication effort and linking to different type of stakeholders, machines, and others. Okay. Now, these slides talk about the smart modules for automation and the feedback for design. Okay. Previous slides I talk about only the manufacturing, but so 5 minutes is that, do I need to take questions or not? No. Okay, sorry. Okay, so I thought I have to take questions, so my time is up. I only have a few slides left. In order for machine cloud to work, the most important one is what are the APPs they provide. Okay, so but this has to link directly to the shop floor with a lot of manufacturing know-hows and the needs. Okay, so this is another effort that we need to. Now, right now, I think our target is to promote this APP by using the system integrator. There are a lot of system integrators in Taiwan, but their main business previously was to go to the factory, linking machine together, make sure everything working automatically, that's it. But in the future, their own business can be upgraded if they can collect data from the shop floor and they can provide some software to serve their customer. So system integrator is really the target or the main focus in the future digital transformation because they know ICT and they can contact directly to the shop floor. So we are gathering a lot of different type of system integrators to all work all together to promote this idea. Okay, and in order to do that, because just like they want to do business, so they need a store, right? If we want to sell something, we need to open a store. So in other words, we need to open a cyber store. The store is on the cloud side. So people who, we want to solve the problem that the system integrator or the APP provider, they focus their efforts on writing APP. They don't worry about how to deploy the APP. They don't want to have to worry about how their customer can access their APP. Or even if they have some upgrade of the APP, the platform can facilitate the functions for them to do that. So in other words, we'll minimize the cost of APP providers, and that will also boost the usage of the machine clouds. Okay. This is a preliminary website for our smart machine cloud, and we have a very preliminary design. And like I said, we will officially launch the machine cloud next year, so to many people that can come up and either provide their APP or download their APP or to book service from the system integrators. Okay. There are some very small activities to test our system. First one is the plastic injection industry. So we focus on the plastic injection machines to enable their digitization by adopting the cloud technology, as I said. So this is previously without digital transformation. And we try to use the technology, and after that, we wish the injection machine can be digitized and with a lot of smart functions through the cloud service. The second one is also from the PCB and the machine tool industry, and this has to do with the line of production. Okay, then we also adopt the technology, and we already engage in some PCB manufacturing industry to deploy the technology for a test. So, conclusion is that to take home today, my main idea is to tell you, to explain to you our effort for the next several years to establish the cloud for our SMEs. And this is all jointly promoted by TAMI and a lot of industrial associations in Taiwan. And we want to promote the machine clouds, but we will first focus on several industries to make successful examples for others to know, okay? And the last one, but not the least, is that we want to gather a bunch of system integrators and the software developers and also some other people with manufacturing expertise so that they can write apps on the cloud. This concludes my talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Dr. Hu from ITRI, Vice President and General Director of Mechanical and Mechatronics Systems Research Lab from ITRI. Thank you, Dr. Hu, for this wonderful presentation.